Go ahead. We're recording. We're live.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So this is our third week of our Mastermind call. So just for if it's your first time being on here, the whole purpose of this is for us to have accountability as we go through the Vital 180 training so that we can apply what we're using. So the assignment for last week was to complete the balance of the share portion of it and to book a class. So I'm going to go through everybody that was on the call last week, and you guys let me know, what was your favorite part of it, what you learned from it, and then when your class is or when you're going to book it if you haven't booked it. So I will go first, and the whole purpose is for us to get out of our comfort zone and to do something additional. So I actually already had a class booked. I have a really big spa party coming up with a Crossline member, but I wanted to challenge myself as well, make sure I'm getting out of my comfort zone. So what I was able to do with my mastermind I did with Young Living, I was finally able to break through my barrier with building in the Spanish community. So I've been doing a lot more of that, but I still, anytime that I do something, have a really hard time. Like the first time that I do it, I still go through the green, beating myself up about it. So I actually booked the Instagram class. So that'll probably be like the longest time that I've ever had to talk straight 30 minutes in Spanish about oils. So, and then again, I just wanted to make sure I had enough on the books. So I did do one Instagram and Facebook Live of my unboxing, which the beauty of doing it also that way is that you can save the video. So then you now have a tool. And so that was another reason why I want to do it both in English and in Spanish. So that's what I did. I have 3 classes technically on the books for this month in order to grow my business. And what I really enjoyed about the section was having some information to help those that have more introverted personality. I thought that interview was really good. That was part of that section. So, all right, Dana, Anthony, you want to go next?
So, yeah, I'll go. I will candidly admit I am kind of being a bum this month. So for those who don't know, we've been busy planning the rally. So I got kind of distracted, and I need to put a class on the books before the end of the month. Whether it's Facebook or a live in-person class. I know Dana's been doing a lot of one-on-ones, which have actually been pretty fruitful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's me speaking candidly. I don't have a class on the books for this month yet. So I need to get one.
And honestly, I mean, that's how this goes. And there was plenty of times on my other mastermind where we were like, well, oh, that was what the homework was? Yeah, I didn't do that. But here's what I did for my business. And, one of the things I do want to touch about too, because we're going to talk about some different tools. And so I was re-listening to the game plan, which is a much more blue social book, right? And there are some things that I do want to point out. There's a whole chapter about how to share. So when we talk about being duplicatable and getting things done in our team, we don't want people to duplicate us. We want them to duplicate the right actions. And those actions may look different for everyone. If you come on here and you say, I didn't book a class and I'm never going to book a class, there's nothing wrong with that. But you just have to have a plan of how you're going to share in the way that's more natural and authentic for you.
I agree with that. I know classes are more Dana's thing. I'm more about parties and gatherings and one-on-ones. So I kind of agree with what you were saying, because both of us have our different strengths. I know mine is interacting with people, and I don't mind teaching the classes, but for me personally, it's not, I don't want to say it like my forte. It's not the way that I want to grow.
Right.
But it is something, the nice thing about it is duplicatable.
Right.
So sometimes I force myself to do it, because even though it may not be comfortable for me to do it that way, other individuals might not see it that way.
Alrighty. So, Jenny, you were on the call last week. You want to share with us?
Oh, she's on mute. Hold on. Let's unmute her. All right, now go ahead, Jennifer.
Um, yeah, so I stepped way out of my comfort zone on Saturday. I had a vendor event and I have had a challenge. It was actually really fun because I like talking to people. I'm just nervous about getting in front of people and teaching a class. Like, I'd rather visit and talk with people. Like, it was really fun. Now I just have to follow up on the leads I got. But I did schedule a class at the library. And I'm really nervous about that. It's on the 24th. So I had invites there, gave out a lot of invites, and then I need to share that on Facebook too, so local people can come to that. And yeah, I actually want to do another Facebook class, like the live one, because people from out of state can join on that. I tried to do the Savvy Makeup one with posts, and not very many people commented on that. So I don't like seeing myself on video, but apparently other people do like the videos, so that's what I'm going to try to do.
Sheena, do you mind if I butt in with a question really quick for Jennifer? So you said you didn't get a lot of interaction on the online classes.
The one, it was I did it with Amber. It was the Savvy Mineral Makeup, and it was where we just did the posts. And I tried to explain to people that they would go in it and then interact on the posts, and only like my mom and I commented on the posts. It was, so I don't know if people saw anything or not. And I did have a video in there too, but
I do know that because Tashina and I have done some classes, and Tashina's done some classes this way too. The Facebook Live has gotten a lot better. So if that's something that you feel comfortable with doing, I know because there's classes that I've been in with that have the post, and even I get confused because it sometimes Facebook doesn't always post them in order.
Yeah,
Yeah, so sometimes that becomes an issue. So, I mean, Facebook Live, you can even add a guest. So if you want to teach with somebody else, you can now be a guest.
Yeah, that's what I did. I had Marlene do it with me because I don't feel comfortable doing it myself, but if I have someone else there, it makes it better. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Monica has said she'd do one with me too. So
nice. Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. Go ahead, Tashina. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. So that sounds like you did an amazing job. You did your homework. Thanks for being a great example to everybody. And if you have any questions as we go through this portion of it, of how to make things better, then let us know, or share any tips of how you, with your particular personality, was able to like break through and start getting stuff done, because people would love to hear from you.
Yeah, I just had to do it. I had to schedule it. And now I'm like, so nervous. Same thing with the expo. Like, I made sure I could get it. I work every Saturday, so I had to make sure I could get it off. And yeah, there's actually someone that was there that I know invited me to another expo next month, but I don't know if I can get it off work because I asked for the 7th off for the rally, and then the 14th is when there's another health expo, and she asked if I wanted to do it. And I do, but I just don't know if my work will let me off. I'm like, man. So.
Right. All right, Andrea, you want to share with us?
I booked a class, which will actually be my first class. The one that I had in July, Monica taught. So this will be the first time I'm actually teaching. But I looked through my calendar and I realized I cannot get it done this month because with the memorial coming up at the end of the month, and then the week before that with the special talk, that kind of ties up a couple of my weekends, and then with some other stuff going on. And I wanted to be able to share in the memorial campaign a little bit, which, because of my physical limitations, I only have so much time. So I realized that if I did it in April, it would be doable. So it would just happen. It was funny. I was at Sam's Club yesterday, and my sister joined me there. So we're going around the store, and I was talking about this was going on, and I could feel the weight of having to go through all of the steps on my shoulders. And then all of a sudden I turned to her and said, hey, now she has a kit. I actually gifted her a kit. And she has zero interest in doing the business at all, but she's my sister, and I figured she would do something for me. I said, hey, would you do me a favor? I said, would you host a class for me I've got to do it for this. And I explained Mastermind, and I got to get the business going, blah, blah, blah. Would you do that? And she went, well, I'll do that because I don't want to do the business. I want to use the oils, but I don't want, I said, I'm not asking you to do the business. I'm just asking you to host the class so I can teach it. She goes, oh, sure, I don't have a problem doing that. So she's going to get the guest list together and I'll do everything else. And all of a sudden, all of that weight came off of me. And I thought, how strange that little piece made it so much more doable. So I've got my class booked. We got a date. We have a time. I'm just now looking for a location because we know the people that she'll be inviting, the areas where it would be. I have resources for locations. But in Philadelphia, people don't like to travel outside of their little zone.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we have it booked, and I know I can find somewhere within a reasonable, drive time for that. So I'm kind of thrilled that I was able to do that.
That is amazing. So we heard from two very different individuals that just doing it. And again, we always adjust to our level, right? So we try to set that goal there. And if it doesn't work for your circumstances, then as long as you're doing something and moving forward. And yeah, Eric Worre always talks about the beginning of your team should really be, if you loved me, you would do it. And that's how you get your closest people to. So we'll get to his book later, but that's how my team started. That's why Dana's doing the business, because my mom and sister it was like, if you love me, you're going to have a party. So.
And I just wanted to touch on very briefly, Andrea, you did something that is really beyond, you say this is your first class, like really beyond what most individuals do, but you're getting outside of your own network by having your sister host a class for you. So you're able to get into different networks, not necessarily just the people you know, but the people who they know.
Right.
So for her, Andrea said that took a lot of the weight off of her because now she can focus on going in and teaching and educating for the class. And her sister doesn't feel like she's doing a business. She feels like she's doing her a favor. And most people, like you mentioned, Tashina, if you have a close bond with them, family, friends, they won't mind hosting a class for you, even if it's one time. So very good job, Andrea.
Thanks. The really cool thing about this is I know my sister, and if this goes off well, and if there's no weight on her just coming up with a guest list, I can probably tap that resource again later.
Right. Awesome. All right. So I don't know, was there anyone else that was on the call last week or anyone that if you weren't on the call, you did see either in the chat or in the Facebook group, and you did, at least complete some of the training and have anything to share? Okay. So I'm going to take that as a no. So with that, I'll just start sharing and hop into, what we went over. And so if you weren't able to go over it, then your mission would be to just start where you are in the Vital One training and then catch up to where we are for the next week. Okay. So you guys seeing my screen?
Yep, it's there.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so one of the awesome things that we have here is a complete class planning guide. I love this thing, especially when it's someone's first class. So it just gives you tips of what you should be doing after you set the date, how to prepare, ideas for light refreshments, tools that you should have, how it should usually work. So with class one, the host is going to welcome and introduce the presenter. Class one or class two, the person is going to do part of it, and class three, they do their own. So it automatically sets you up to train your team. And then it has some information for wrap up. And then the next thing that was viewed was teaching an essential oils class. So it's a 20-minute class, and it's an example of how you could teach it. So for this part, I guess for the people that are teaching classes on a regular basis, what are your favorite scripts or tools that maybe work better for your personality, or things that you like that you would share with the team as some other resources?
I can start, Tashina. So Dana and I have gone through multiple revisions of scripts, because some of the scripts that have been floating out there are a little bit older, so they may not be as compliant. But I do like that Vital 180 has in the Business in a Box, the Intro to Oils class, which has the slides. Some of the different classes actually even have, what to say for this slide in it. But I know I've gotten so used to teaching this class, like I know what to say for these slides. And usually most of the information is already there. It takes you through, all the oils, the seat, the seal. It talks about the different methods of using the oil. So it's a great tool to use, whether you want to put it on a laptop and walk through it. Most people have a TV in their home that they might be able to hook their computer up to. So that's a great, simple resource that can be used, is that under Business in a Box, Intro to Oils. We've done the home detox class. There's even the follow-up class, I Got My Oils, Now What? So that's a great one to get somebody on ER after they've signed up, because it takes them a little further than the starter kit. So I do like those.
Dana, did you have anything you want to add for some scripts that you like?
Sure, I'm completely opposite of him, and I want say this, now say that, say this, then that, and then pass this script. So my script actually is over here in a binder, and I literally just read the whole thing in front of everybody. That's it.
And it drives me insane. It drives me crazy.
I'm with Dana. I want exactly what to say too. I like the game plan script.
The game plan book is a great one.
Yeah, the game plan book really helped me, like, to what to do, steps in order, and then
Yeah, so I guess for my class personality, I'm definitely like Anthony. So I actually just use the Simply Sharing guide the majority of the time, because I'm usually doing home parties and it's usually like 4 to 8 people. So it would be less relatable for me to have a laptop and a PowerPoint. And when I go through this thing, like I literally probably say 2 sentences for this page, 2 sentences for this page, 2 sentences for this page. I say what the seed to seal is. I probably say 2 sentences for this page, 2 sentences for this page, tell them about this page, tell them the price, and then I pass the oils and I have everybody else read. So they're not listening to me lecture them. So this is what I actually usually use for a home party class. But if I do a public class, like at a location, and it's been advertised, and so people know they're going to come and sit for a lecture, then I would personally use the Business in the Box. And yeah, like I said, I'm the opposite of Dana. Like the game plan is too much. I'm like, who would want to do this? Like, I don't want to, I would walk out if somebody read that to me, but everybody needs. So,
I don't read the whole thing. I guess it's kind of game plan, but I've kind of shortened it.
Well, that's good.
So.
That's good. No, everybody needs scripts. There's like, you got to have something to work with. And I know there's people that want the step-by-step stuff. So I think game plan is great for that. All right. Monica, I know you've done a lot of classes. What do you usually use as far as to teach your classes?
Did we lose Monica? Carrie. Okay, hold on.
They'll try to unmute you.
Yeah, Carrie's not muted. Go ahead, Carrie, if you can. So she's having some issues with her mic.
Okay, I guess anyone else out there want to share what scripts has worked for them?
I use PowerPoint.
Who's that?
Yolanda.
Oh.
Yeah, I use
pop up. Go ahead.
PowerPoint. It's pretty simple, and I just kind of, as far as the script, it depends on the group to determine how much of the words that I go through are each different thing. So at that time, if it's a smaller group, I might answer some questions or be more interactive with the group. But if it's a larger group, then I kind of tend to stay scripted until and hold the questions until the end. So it works pretty well for me. I don't have to guess anything.
Okay, very good. Really quickly, Tashina, do you mind if I relay what Carrie was saying really quickly?
That's fine.
Okay, so Carrie's saying in the chat she likes to use the simply sharing as an outline. Some of the tips she gave is to keep it conversational, just a few highlights per page, and this kind of is key. She said they're not going to retain much of it all, and so like Yolanda was saying, just share a few points because unless they have a notebook, they're not going to remember everything that you told them. Then she says, just smell and react and pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are great tips. Thank you, Carrie, for sharing that.
I can go next.
Go ahead.
I don't know the name of the script, but it's the one you always use. I like using that because I'm a talker, and so I like to go off of that because I feel like it's more open for me to add personal experiences and suggestions and what has helped me. And I like to be able to do that because to me, doing it that way, you do get less questions and they understand the information better.
I feel like that's true. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the one that Dana uses, it's a revised script. I can't remember where we got it from, but we did take it and revise it to make it more compliant. So if anyone wants that one, I'm sure that we can make it available. I believe I have a copy. If not, Dana has a copy as well.
I don't know if you sent it to me already, Tony.
Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, we'll chat about it and see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Carrie says their emotional response to oils and products and business potential will guide you which way to direct the conversation. Yeah, so that's a good point, Carrie. Depending on the types of individuals you have in your class, you may have to direct your conversation more towards that area. So if they're more into the oils, continue to talk about oils. I mean, Young Living has over 400 products. So if they're into supplements, talk about supplements. If the business is what catches their eye, talk about the business. So that's a very good point.
Are you ready to share, Monica?
Yes. So, sorry about that. You said my name, and immediately my phone died. So, sorry about that. But when I'm teaching classes, I use a blend of all of them. So I take what I want from game plan. I take what I want from Vital 180. I take what I want from other scripts like the Grow Workspace. I blend all of them to give me a class that I feel comfortable with. So, and I think that as you teach classes, that kind of changes and morphs, and you adjust it continually. At least that's what I do.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to share what their favorite script is, or any suggestions for successful classes, meetings, teaching opportunities?
Well, Tashina, I was, because of my situation here at home, I was thinking that the library, it being a public place, that would be a nice area to start having some classes during my transition, because although you don't have to reserve rooms, it is a first come, first served basis. And if there is just two of you, then you can get that room. So maybe me and the first person that comes, then, or me and one of my uplines or something like that, then hold the room and have the class there. So because I'm in transition, then I was thinking, how can I still share other than one-on-ones? Because I've just been doing talking to people versus holding classes because of making a transition.
So one of the things that I'm doing while we're doing this, again, is looking at other systems and looking at other plans. And so the game plan, if you haven't got that book and gone through that, that gives you definitely a very good perspective. So chapters 4 and 5, I think, are key. If you guys have some time after you finish this and you haven't gone through that, get up to chapter 5. It's kind of mirroring what we've already done here. And I think chapter 4 talks about distractions, which is like super, super important to understand that portion. And then chapter 5, she talks a lot about ways to share. So vendor events is one way to share that, you know, Jennifer said was super successful for her, being able to share regularly online, but there's a specific way that you need to do it. Sending people samples on a regular basis, if your pocketbook can do that. So I was actually, when I was re-listening to that portion of it, I thought it was really good how she was mentioning all these different ways to share other than one-on-ones and classes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you want to add something, Monica?
I'll just add too, wasn't she, who was it that was talking about they would call their friends and drive by and drop off samples? Was that Sarah? She would make gift baskets and drop them off at people's house.
Yeah, it may have been. It may have been in the game plan.
I think that's what it was. But yeah, so she would drop them off and then call them and say, "Hey, did you get the basket I left you?" And then she would share a little information and follow up with them there. So I think that's a great way to do it as well. But I think understanding too the benefits of both is kind of key, because one-on-ones are great for, I feel like, for signing up an individual. Classes are great for signing up multiple individuals. But I think it's better to start with one-on-ones and those who don't get their kit right away or have never been to a class, then invite them to a class. Because it's better when the class is not their first exposure. So if you've been sharing with them in the past samples or anything like that, or have talked to them previously, then get them to a class, because they're going to be more likely to show up because they've already been exposed to it. And when they come to the class, they're going to be more likely to sign up because you've already met with them and kind of built some type of esteem for not only the company but the product as well.
Can I add something real quick? The other thing I would say is leverage. Use your team. So even if you can't physically be at a class, if Tashina's hosting a class and there's people you know that live near Tashina, then invite them to that class. Help them appreciate what they're going to gain from it. And then I think also, like, we have this rally coming up. These are good opportunities to get people around other like-minded people so they see that it's bigger than you. Because sometimes when people only see you, or if you have limited time, you can plug them into these other sources. And of course, they're going to come back to you because you're the person that originally kind of touched bases with them.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that as well. So when I was first starting out 3 years ago, our team leadership was doing a lot of classes at Big B and stuff like that. And I always plugged into those classes. Anytime my upline is having a large class for everyone, I would do everything that I can to be there and to make sure that I have guests there, because it is a great way to build your business. So like Dana's saying, we have this huge spa party that's coming up in a location, and it's going to just be a whole bunch of free pampering for people. There's no reason, like every single person that has said they've not been interested in oils, like they're super excited. I have people in the chamber saying they're coming and they're sharing it on their page. And I'm like, you ain't never shared nothing ever, but you're going to come for a, $1 a minute massage and a free foot massage and a free do-it-yourself facial. So, and there'll be a little section about the oils there as well. So plug into those. The rally, again, is going to be another one that's in Southern Oakland County. Plug in and leverage that as much as possible. And because I have a class kit, I do lend my kit out all the time, because it's not doing me any good sitting in my trunk. So if I have someone that just, if they don't, I have not been able to get them to a class 3 times and I haven't got them to nail them down for a one-on-one, I will definitely drop off, because I technically have 2 class kits, so I can always do like an impromptu one-on-one. So I have a nice one that's together for the classes, and I drop that off all the time to people. So that is another good way. All right. Anything else on the topic of teaching classes and sharing? All right. Great discussion, guys. Oh,
Tashina, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
I might have missed something. Can you explain what you mean by dropping off your kit? You mean to somebody who you're trying to get to take that step? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I have a class kit. It sits like in an actual suitcase. I bought it. It says Young Living on it. And that's what I take everywhere to actually do a class. But say I had a class, I had 3 class books, and this person said, I'm going to be there, and then they didn't show up. And they said, I'm going to be there, and they didn't show up. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's have lunch. And they can't give me a date. So for example, there was an individual that was at my work, and she cleaned the place. Like, she didn't have a lot of time. She's a single mom. So I just handed her my class kit with a Simply Sharing guide and let her have it for a week in order to use it. Or I will do a class at somebody in the chamber, and before I do the class, I'll let them stay with the kit for a week before that so they can use it, along with the Simply Sharing guide, so they have a little bit of instructions, and so they have a whole week in order to use it.
I've done something
that
similar to that too.
It sounds like an amazing idea. Have you had success as a result?
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's so cool. I got to think about that.
I had a person too who didn't want to come to a class and told me that people only invited them to things that they had to spend their money at. And I was like, no, it's not even that type of party. I know that this will be very beneficial for you. And I really was trying to help you, not, get your money. And so I had invited her to 2 classes after that conversation and she didn't come. So finally I just was like, you know what, I'm going to drop this off. So I went and took my diffuser, my extra diffuser, and like 4 or 5 different oils that I know works for insomnia. And the next morning she was like, how much does this cost? And I was like, nope, I don't want your money. I want you to continue using it. Because I told her to use it for a whole week. I was like, I want you to continue using it for the rest of the week and then touch bases with me. But I'm glad that you're excited about it. So basically at the end of the week, of course, she did sign up and get a kit. And now her whole family has a kit in their home as well. And they're on ER.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So basically, you still got that money.
Yes. And she still has the benefits of the diffuser.
There you go. Carrie says, way to go, Nick.
All right. Any other questions or concerns?
Thanks, Carrie.
I'm sorry, Tashina, you cut out for a second. Say that again.
Oh, any other questions, comments? All right. So again, for those that haven't yet, definitely go through all of this section if you had not had the opportunity to. And then the next couple videos are really easy. It just tells you step by step, what to prepare to teach a class, how to enroll people there at the class. You guys have all done that, so you there's no need to chat about that. The only thing I would say, it's kind of funny because there's like 2 schools of thoughts when it comes to enrolling people. Shannon Hudson loves using paper applications because she says her paper never glitches. I always have a mobile hotspot on my phone, and so I don't have to worry about the internet glitching. I just turn my mobile hotspot on and then I'm good. I hate using paper applications. I have had 50% of the time they miss some information. And so I can't stand it. I want them to get in there and do it. So that's something else you got to figure out, like which works better for you too when it comes to enrolling new members.
Each one has some of its benefits. I mean, the nice thing about paper applications is multiple people can sign up all at once. So you don't have to wait. People don't have to wait in line to use the computer. But to Sheena's point, the nice thing about having them enroll themselves, they can now duplicate and have somebody else help somebody else to enroll. So whichever way you use, find out which way works best for you, but have them do it. Do not do it for them. They will never duplicate if you do it for them.
I was wondering, I've had people, I've just had them sign up online. That seems to work good because then they know their login and I tell them to write down what they need to know for logging in later. But I was going to say on the paper ones, like I've seen like the real detailed paper ones, but then from the Vital 180, it's a really abbreviated, like it doesn't seem like it has enough information on it. Are we allowed? I mean, I would feel uncomfortable using that. It just doesn't seem like it's enough information for them.
Yeah, I mean,
just curious.
I have used those, but like I said, if we were doing a class and there's like 12 people that showed up at this class, then I would hand those out.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but like for me, I just rather people pull out their cell phones. I hope I have a one experienced person there so we can like, kind of go back and forth and just have them do it on their cell phone. That's personally works better for me. I can't remember the sign-in sheet. Dana, do you remember, does the sign-in sheet give them where they're going to, it doesn't give them where they're going to give their password and PIN on there, right? Because they wouldn't be writing that down, or does it?
The sign-in sheet or the enrollment sheet on Vital 180?
Enrollment sheet.
Yes, it does.
It tells them to pick a password. So I guess it has all the information you would need.
Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so with that, we can go to the next section of how to share. So one of the things that I was just pointing out is that we do have shareable graphics. So there's all these types of graphics just to like generate some interest. And as Leo was mentioning in the chat, we want to use these sparingly. You know, we don't want to post one of these per day, maybe in your story or something like that, but we want to do a lot more of sharing our own experiences naturally rather than like spamming people. But, you know, I did take time when I first started out and post like one of these a week just to generate some interest. And it did. I do have an individual that one day I posted the one about laundry soap and I sent her some samples and eventually she bought a kit. So I have gotten a benefit from doing that before, but you know, we always want to share in the way that's most natural. And so then there was a little video of how to do that. And then there was the interview that I was saying at the beginning that I really liked from Jamie Lockhart, and how she was able to grow some on social media. And I would just love to hear what other people gained from her interview, and I guess any suggestions for individuals that may feel they have a lot of trouble sharing because they're a little bit more introverted, because that's what she mentioned, and what other things you do besides social media to be able to share more naturally.
Did you say what other things do you do besides social media to share naturally?
Using the oils in public, just and honestly, just handing. I gift people stuff all the time, really. I mean, if I know that someone has something, or if I'm at work and I have somebody complains about something, I always keep cough drops and pain relief cream. Like, besides having the oils from the kit, I feel like those are the easiest thing to share. Somebody stubbed their toe, they went to the doctor because of their back, they whatever, they get to go in the bathroom and use my pain relief cream, and everyone gets my cough drops.
I was asking, was that the question that you asked to us?
Yes. So this section we're now going into about, you know, in addition to classes, which classes might not be the most natural fit for some people, like what else can you do, including social media, but not limited to social media?
I kind of do the same thing that you do. When they're hurting, or if they're hurting, I kind of just say, hey, you know, this will really work for you. It has worked for me, no matter whether it's pain, or like sinuses, you know, sinus pressure, or, you know, sometimes people are just down, you know. So I try to put an oil into their hand. If they see me putting it on, here, you know, and they inquire, here, why don't you try some, kind of thing. And like I said, I drop off my diffuser to people to try to get them going. I have gifted samples. I'm supposed to go take somebody some shea butter with our oils in it, because I was buying the shea butter to whip up, and me and him started talking about different shea butters and how the one brand he think had additives in it, and he likes the other one better. So I was like, oh, well, you know, I do Young Living and I make my own mixture of shea with essential oils. Can I bring you some back? And he said, yeah. So I'm going to try to fit that into my schedule tomorrow too. But I try to add it into every conversation if it can fit in. Like a young lady today asked me about being disabled and how do I make money. And I told her I do Young Living, and she was like, please call me. Like, for real, please call me. Even after she left, you know, was walking away, she was like, do not forget. I'm very interested. I want to know how I can make money and not work a 9 to 5. And so I had texted her my number. And when we left the store, she was like, my phone's in the car. So sometimes people say that and don't really mean it, but she texted me when she got in the car and was like, you know, make sure to follow up with me. So I told her I was going to call her tomorrow as well.
Anybody else want to share?
I kind of do what you guys do. So I have a young lady I go every 3 weeks or so to her salon. And the last time I was there, this is a new salon she just moved to, and she had eucalyptus and sage, but I think it was from like a Bed Bath Beyond or whatever, like place. And I told her, I said, well, yeah, I can drop off my extra diffuser, and I have some eucalyptus and sage that, I don't mind sharing with you to kind of get a feel of how it smells naturally without all the chemicals, because she had it plugged into the wall. And so on my next visit, I will be bringing it to her because she really likes that idea. And I'm hoping that because she has a steady flow of customers, then that there will be some interest there, because I did sell her a kit for her father. And so now I want to get her a kit and using the essential oils more regularly. And then I also use it at my work because, I put out some Thieves hand soap, foaming hand soap, and got a huge response from that, liking the smells. And I also take my diffuser when I'm working, and I will diffuse different oils. And I've been able from that point to share different things like lemongrass with people. And I just try and keep it a natural conversation when they use the foaming hand soap and they're asking, well, what is in it? How do I get some? Or something like that. So I'll try to bring information for them or answer their questions. So you just find different ways of sharing it other than, like you said, social media or doing a one-on-one. But a lot of sampling I found to be more effective.
Yeah, they definitely have to use the oils. Like you have to experience the oils. That is really what makes the sell, making sure that they get them, the aroma, and getting them on their body. All right, any one last person want to share something else? Because we've got about 5 minutes, then just reviewing what the homework will be.
Okay, I'll go real quick. So I, like you had asked about being more introverted. I'm more introverted. I find social media, for me, like in the beginning, it was very, very difficult. But I will say, like, just building relationships and rapport with people that has grown our business. There's people out of state that even if I already knew them, that being social on social media actually solidified where they saw what I was doing. And I was able to like get people started that way. So I've had success with social media. That's it.
Awesome. All right. So awesome discussion. So again, if this is your first time on the call, this is where we are on the training right now. So hopefully most everyone, because I think everyone is a star above on here. So hopefully most everyone has already done getting started and start training. And so if you've already completed it, the point is for us to review it so that we know where these tools are. We can share it when people have questions and get our team members to do it. And so just if you haven't done so yet, just reviewing these sections. And if you happen to haven't had completed it, then make sure you complete. You're going to be now completing all the way through grow section. So next week, we're going to go over this grow section. And what did I put for the notes here?
Income producing time activities.
Okay, yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about, income producing activities. So then
time management.
Okay, so so we're gonna go over these videos. If you have your 100 list done, then go ahead and revise it. And this is something I actually did in my mastermind that I did with Young Living. I pulled out my 100 list, which I hadn't looked at in forever, and it was very interesting because like some of the people that were on there were on my team and already went inactive off of my team. So, and it reminded me that I put a lot of people in there from the Waterford Chamber And I actually ordered some brochures from Young Living for chiropractors and for health professionals so that I could start reaching out to some of those people that I put on my list that I forgot about and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. So definitely get your 100 list back out and revise it and add some more names. I had switched jobs since I did my 100 list. So the majority of the people at my new job were not on there yet, even though obviously I have been sharing with them. My boss has used pain relief cream. But so, and then this other one here, plug people into Vital 180. It's so key that we're plugged into a community and we're plugged into something learning. It's really important to get that done. So make that a goal for next week as well, to get another team member at least doing the getting started. We talked about the getting started. There's nothing businessy in there. It teaches them how to use the website. It teaches them how to learn more about oils. So try to get one person plugged in the Vital 180. And then pick one of these planners to do. Daily planners don't work for me for this business because I have basically I work a lot of the business on Friday and then I plan out my week. So for me to have a daily planner, it doesn't work very well for me. And then I basically just use my own calendar, my Outlook calendar, and put everything in there. But when you're starting out, making sure that you have one of these planners is really key. So just pick a planner that you can use in order to do that. And then we just have a few other videos and other tools here that we can use. It starts us talking about the comp plan. And then check out this, Vital Conversations weekly accountability is something for you to be able to have a conversation with your mentor or whoever you're working with as well. And then one super, super important thing is when you start, we already are talking about the importance of events. Dana mentioned that earlier, plugging into local events, but convention, Young Living Convention, if you really want to get to executive and then get beyond that, the information that you get at convention is inexplicable. It's really, really important to get that on your list. People are getting their taxes back right now, probably going to go on vacation somewhere. It actually is a pretty cool vacation to get there. So this is something to start putting on your radar if you're a star trying to move to the next level.
Don't stay in person.
Hey, we look forward to going to Salt Lake City every year.
Just don't stay in Park City.
That's okay. Look, I never thought I'd say something like that. I look forward to going to Salt Lake City every year.
It is a nice vacation. I love it. So I look forward to it too. All right, that's all I have for everybody. I will put in the chat and as well as on the board, what the assignment is. But the key is not to get wrapped up in the details. And again, the whole point of this is to go outside of this. This is just our structure. So if you guys are using some other checklists for calendars or income producing activities, please bring them to the table if they work better for you.
Hey, Tashina, real quick, I just wanted to mention the rally, Saturday, April 7th. So right now, tickets are $5 off until this evening. Tonight. Till midnight tonight. And that will be from 2 to 6, and that's a Saturday. Doors open at 1 o'clock. So again, when we talk about community, it's so important to get as many of your people so they can see that it's more than just oils and it's a full wellness company.
Western theme too. So we'll have games and prizes for best costume. I believe there's a dance competition.
Yeah, we got to figure out the details of the dance competition.
There'll be food. It's going to be fun. For those who attended Shannon's 70s theme rally, we just had a really, really good time. And we're actually recognized as the Metro Detroit rally on Young Living's website. So, get everyone you can there, and you guys try to get there. I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to go to your rally.
Get your ticket.
The lady that hosts it here, I just asked her and she's not hosting it. So I don't know if there's even one close by me. I actually already asked for it off work and everything.
Oh, bummer.
I know. But I'll see you guys at convention. I'm really excited.
Okay, well, we're gonna get you silver this year, and then when you're gonna come be a speaker at our rally, and we'll come be speakers at your rally
There you go.
next year when I'm
Me?
gone. Yeah.
All right.
Got to plan the goals.
Oh, let me mute myself. I know, right?
Okay, thanks everybody. Awesome call, fun, and look forward to next week. I will put out on the group and the chat all the information you guys need for the next week. All right, thank you everyone. Great call.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.